He's married to a beautiful woman.
I'm sure he is.
Vince Vaughn's married again.
Yeah, he just had a DUI, so he's doesn't sound like it's the most stable marriage.
I don't think you can
I'm
draw
not
a
really-
parallel.
Yeah, he was out having fun. He did
marriage
make the
and
best decision. He's under the
DUI.
spotlight.
How many marriages we had?
There we go. See,
One.
How many
I've
DUIs?
only been married 3 times.
And how many DUIs?
One.
Hey, we've
Okay.
never been married, so
Right.
You and Vince Vaughn?
Hmm?
You and Vince Vaughn?
me, it's
Oh.
fun. Yeah, I'm married once.
Oh.
Well, I've had a wet
Hey.
necklace too. Okay.
Because
Right.
a lot of people
Yeah.
are just like, there's something wrong with you if you're not married at a certain age. You know?
I'm not married.
Yeah.
So it goes
we're
both
another-
ways,
yeah.
I guess.
Well, you were married at that age. The three of us weren't,
Yeah.
and
You know, and the thing about it, these days you can't have anything private, so we can't afford shame. It's more important that
Yeah.
we talk about
Yeah.
our mistakes. I've learned from my mistakes. I continue to learn from my mistakes. I'm working hard on my recovery. I'm trying to be proud of myself. I'm trying to like myself. It's very hard to like yourself after you have a DUI. It's very hard to like yourself, after you've had a run-in with the law. And these
Really?
days,
Even
it's
though-
almost
even though you're-
impossible to not have a run-in with the law because there are a lot of law out there, you
Yeah.
know. And
Well,
also, we live in an age when everything online sort of glorifies bad behavior.
Yeah, it kind of
So, but the truth is, when you have something like a DUI, you know damn straight you really fucked up, and you potentially could have killed someone else,
Yeah.
hurt someone else. Way harder to live with that than hurting yourself.
Yeah.
But if you hurt yourself or kill yourself and you have kids like I do, I mean, I horrify myself when I think about it. But what I have to try to do, and that's why I think it's important that we can talk about this stuff, and when I do the podcast, and thank you very much, Mark, for mentioning that. Haven't even named it yet, but my partner, Joe Vecchio, has been doing radio and TV in San Diego since day one of me working at Channel 10, and he worked at Channel 10 at the same time. So we've stayed, partners in crime all these years as broadcasters, and decided that we would hook up talking about, having a podcast together that would deal with resilience,
Awesome.
which is why I bring that word up a lot, because I think that I have impatience a lot more than I have resilience. But if I can have forgiveness for myself, then I can grow my compassion muscle for others much more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy these days in the digital era to make fun of other people, to be cruel, and in a faceless way, and a shameless way. And we should be ashamed of being cruel, not of being human. And from where I sit, learning from my mistakes is all I really have left to prove in my life, because I'm of a ripe age now, and I think all of
29's a bitch.
my misdeeds should be behind me, right?
But this is not going to be a political show. This is going to be a show for everybody.
Yeah, this is going to be a show for everyone. We're going to tell stories of resilience, stories like Ryan, stories. We all have stories of resilience. I mean,
Maybe Ryan will be a guest.
Yeah, I'd love
I'll
that.
come down.
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah, 'cause you're a San Diego guy.
I've actually got the name now of the president. I think the president or general manager, Ed Quinn.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember Ed
sure.
Quinn.
Ed,
Yeah, that's
yes.
my sister's
Yeah,
godfather.
Yeah, is
So-
he's still the dude there?
No, it's somebody else, I think.
Yeah.
So that's my
Yeah.
dad. My dad.
Yeah, Ed was the general manager when I was offered the gig in New York and
Okay.
left Channel 10 in San Diego. And Ed Quinn, he wished me luck, but he didn't want me to leave.
Yeah.
he kind of made me feel like I was betraying Channel 10. And I always, wonder what would it have been like if I'd stayed there all those years and been comfortable in my skin all those years. And I'm sure I would have loved it, every minute of it.
Mm-hmm.
I hated leaving San Diego, but it was an opportunity, and I'm a restless soul. And to this day, I have to admit who I am. A restless soul. I mean, I grew up in Austin, Minnesota, where there was nothing but a meatpacking plant, the Hormel meatpacking plant. So the perfume of my youth is pickled pig's feet.
Nice.
The smell of pickled pig's feet is the perfume of my youth. They make Spam at Hormel meatpacking plant, and that's it. Spam, pretty much.
Well,
So it's
so
humble
you've
beginnings
gone
and a
all
restless
around the
soul.
world, and you're coming back to San Diego to do
Yeah,
radio,
yeah.
and it's not going to be one of these partisan politics. It's about
No,
humans.
it's not going to be
about,
politics.
It's going to be not negativity, uplifting.
Uplifting. It's about how do we survive.
Because you met my father as a conservative, and you guys got along
We
great.
got along great. Your dad is a good dude and a smart one.
Yeah.
I see where you get your smarts because your mom and dad both are highly intelligent people
Yes.
with very differing viewpoints.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
I loved watching their,
Yes.
their cooperative, challenging style
Oh,
of
you
conversation.
saw that, huh?
Yeah.
So this is going to be enough of this yelling at each other. This is going to be stories of uplift. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. At the end of the day, we're going to feel better about ourselves and better about the world.
That is exactly the goal, and it is as yet not officially named,
Right.
but we know that the theme is about how do we stay resilient and compassionate as human beings
Well,
in an era when so many of us feel alone and scared, probably because we're buried in our text messaging and trying to compare ourselves with everybody else online.
I do that
I
a
look
lot,
forward to the
too.
Untitled Bree Walker podcast. Speaking of this podcast, where does the time go? Before it's been an hour, but I have to say, before we go, and I'm not, you know me, we have people spanking each other and doing weird stuff and setting each other on fire and doing magic.
It's true.
I have to
We
say,
like that.
I'm in the studio with three people I very much admire. Bree Walker, because obviously your story is one of triumph. Your story is one of somebody, as Hannah was saying in her text, somebody that looks different than everybody else, but shows everybody how beautiful that is.
Oh,
Has done that
thank
for
you,
you.
Hannah.
Which
That meant
really
a lot
connects,
to me.
which really connects with me, and I'll tell you off air what I struggle with. So.
Hannah has had her struggles, but I
Yeah.
definitely admire her, and
You're beautiful.
she's
brilliant.
beautiful, and I'm glad that she's there every week.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Nice
I
being
want to
part
hear
of
more
your
stories
show.
of celebrities hitting on you. But and this guy right here,
Mm-hmm.
like I say,
Ryan.
did it hurt you?
No, you're
Oh,
fine.
okay.
No, it's right. It'll be right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was a little over anxious, but
No, you're fine.
like I say, for the first time I met you, anytime that I'm in a room that you're in,
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm gonna have a good time,
No.
and I know that I know people are gonna behave themselves, and I know that people are gonna be, if you follow your lead, and your lead is always decency, support,
Yeah.
and inspiration,
Yeah.
and that it's always been like that. And
Appreciate that.
trust me, it's not surprising to me that you're not only beating the odds, but way ahead of schedule with your recovery.
Yeah.
And it's going to stay that way. And like I say, I'm going to be giving $100 tomorrow, and I challenge everybody to help. Go to GoFundMe, Ryan Talmo, click on and give what you can. Bree
That's a given. You got me in, boy.
Oh,
Right.
thank
Yeah, you do.
Thank you.
and Bree, not a big social media presence, but I think that's going to change when the podcast
Yes,
comes.
it will have to.
And-
I'll be forced to do that.
Before the launch, we
I've
will
mixed
have you
feelings.
back here at the Ruby.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, I would love to be here every week. Trust me, I tried to get a show with the two of us when I got back to town. That didn't work out, but
Well, as you know,
The
both
best.
of my kids very much want me to go back to what I love to do, and that is blabbing.
yes.
And they say
as
that's
you
where my
heard
light
today-
shines the best,
As you
is
heard
when
today,
I'm blabbing.
you're good at that. But you're B Walker Lampley on Facebook. You're some unknown number on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm Bree Walker Lampley, iCloud, etc. Bree Walker 2263 at gmail.com. That's my public email and my personal email. I do my best answering everybody's conversations. That was one thing that was a point of pride for me when kids with differences, physical or emotional or any differences, would write to me. It was always a very big deal, and I saved every single letter that I ever got, and I got letters from all over the world when I was on TV.
And I might have to take you to Ryan's show. He's doing a
Oh,
storytelling
I'd love
show.
to. Yeah.
Busted.
Yeah, on at the Storyteller's bookstore.
And when is that?
That's next Sunday.
I might have to take you to that.
Great.
It's on
Oh, I
a good
want
week
to.
for me. So I've been booked in a lot of shows, but it's been really difficult with the chemo to make it to a lot of these
Yeah.
shows.
You get tired, right?
I get tired, or it's just like my brain's just not all there. This will be a very interesting one. So I'm gonna switch gears, and it's called Busted. It's usually about how to get around LA without a car.